Good evening, everybody. This is Michael Shockman with the DM Shockman Institute, and welcome to the next episode of BattleTech Simplified. In today's episode, we'll be covering the most quintessential mech in the 25-ton weight bracket, a mech that, while being one of the unsung soldiers of House Steiner, and also one of the most light mechs that's not a scout, it is a mech that punches well above its weight class in most of its variants and even its primary model, and as such, is a mech that is often underestimated. In today's episode, we will be covering the Commando. In 2463, Coventry Metal Works, then known as Coventry Defense Conglomerate, introduced their second battle mech, the COM-1A Commando. Designed by Andre Barcalo, created for the Lyran Commonwealth Armed Forces, and one of the first mechs ever designed for reconnaissance, the Commando is much lighter and faster than its precursors, though it still utilized primitive battle mech technology. The Commando was able to destroy much heavier Kharitan gladiators during the first large-scale battle between battle mechs in 2475 on Nox. The installed large laser caused several problems, and other mechs were soon introduced. That were better equipped for scouting and even mounted jump jets. The Commando's profile, however, was radically changed with the introduction of the sophisticated COM-2D variant in 2486, which exchanged the large laser weaponry for short-range missiles and turned the machine into a striker. With only 4 tons of armor to protect itself, the Commando is not meant to participate in a stand-up fight against heavier enemies, but it excels in hit-and-run tactics and as a scout hunter. The Commando became popular among LCAF forces, and nearly 600 years later, it is still mainly in use by Lyrans. The Commonwealth went to great pains to keep the mech solely in Lyran hands, especially during the years of the Star League. It took an alliance with the Federated Suns and the creation of the Federated Commonwealth to break the stranglehold. The Commando was chosen, however, as the standard light battle mech for the armed forces of the Federated Commonwealth, next to the Valkyrie. And after the upgrade to the COM-5S model in 3050, Vandenberg Mechanized Industries was allowed to produce the old COM-2D for the Taurian Defense Force. Furthermore, the Marian hegemony deploys the rocket launcher-packed COM-4H, and the Word of Blake produced its own variant, the COM-7B, during its occupation of Coventry from 3068 to 3074. The standard COM-2D Commando carries 2 different SRM launchers, a Coventry 4-tube and a Shannon 6-shooter, each with 1 ton of ammo. A secondary weapon is a Defiance B3M medium laser. This weapon these weapons can cause a lot of damage for a light mech and makes the Commando an effective striker, especially when used in groups. An often used tactic for those is to rush upon a single target, concentrate their fire, and retreat before the enemy can offer effective resistance. The COM-2D's communication gear, Crystal Flower RG2, as well as the Star Shark targeting system were produced by Theris on Tharkad. As for my personal feelings on the Commando, I have to say it is one of the most heavily equipped light mechs that I've ever come against. Not quite holding the same armor value as things such as the Jenner, but also packing more of a punch than the Locust, this mech often can, when used in groups of 2 or 3, can often turn the tide of a battle against even heavier or superior mech forces. Thank you so much, folks, for joining me. Hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't already, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also, please be sure to check out the links down in the description. I'm Michael Schockman. I've been your host and commentator. Stay tuned for next week's episode when we cover the next mech in the next up weight class in our light mech series. And remember, as always, keep it real, keep it safe, keep it healthy, and remember, no guts, no galaxy. Ha! Later, everybody.